you, Kathy B. Thank you so much for playing us into the room. It's such a great way to enter the room. Starring Kathy Bullock once again. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Kathy B. All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. I'm so happy to see so many of you here again today. Hello, Susan in Ohio, Becky in Vancouver. Hi, Trish in Victoria. Hello, Julia. Nice to see you today. And hello, Deborah in Kentucky. Julie, hello. Busy Graham, Carpe Diem. Hello, Karen in Arizona. Candace, hello. Beth in Kentucky. Doug in Vermont. Sarah in Texas, hello. Anna in Maine, hello. Martha in Oregon. Hello, Nicola, coming in from the UK. Glad you're here today. Steve in Baltimore. Isabel in Florida. Bonnie in Idaho. Sue in California. Renata in Wisconsin. Nancy's Irish Cow in Washington. Lisa in Indiana, hello. Hello, Christiana and Bob in Maryland. And Anne, hello. Sheila in Florida. Hi, Randy. How are you? Nice to see you. Anne, hello. Nice to see you. Sandy in the Yukon. Caroline in Maryland. Barb in Kentucky. Dan in Virginia. Annette in California. Lynn in Connecticut. And Deli in Maryland. Mabel and Bob in Massachusetts. Carolyn, the gang is all here. Plus, I love it. Carolyn in Idaho. Tom in Victoria. Anne in Maryland. Kevin in New Hampshire. Hello, Elise Witt, coming in from Georgia, one of our regular song leaders. Glad you're here today. Luda and Mark in Victoria. Nice to have you both today. Peter and Janet in Toronto. Great to see you. Hello, Janet in the background. Dick, hello. Nice to have you today. And Rosalie in Michigan. Abigail, hello. Oh, that's Kate. Abigail just changed to Kate. Hi, Kate in Charlottesville. And Carol in BC. Great to see you. Anna in Maryland. Elizabeth, hello. Nice to see you. Might be new to us today. Lots of folks off video today. Hello to all of you. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining. And hello again also to everybody on Facebook Live. Nice to be here in this room with all of you on a great Saturday. Everybody take a deep breath for Saturday. So it may or may not be that your Saturdays look any different than your Tuesdays, but it still feels nice that it's Saturday. So thank you for all joining me with that. Welcome, as I said, to the Daily Antidote of Song. For those of you who are new to us, we are here every day at noon Eastern, singing one song together, having some discussion, thinking together. And today is our 313th day. I counted and I already forgot. Today is our 300 and somethingth day. And I'm really glad you've all joined us to sing on this special day. We have a brand new artist in the room with us today. Plus, we have the amazing Kathy Bullock in the room with us. Life doesn't get any better than that. For anyone who's new to us, the lyrics are going to be in the chat. Also, links to find the artist and the host will both be in the chat. And my email is in the chat. We have a Daily Antidote email list, which we send out every morning with the lyrics and the artists' names in advance. If you want to be on the list, just email me or pop your email into the chat. And I'm going to roll it over to Kathy B, coming in from Berea, Kentucky. Kathy, we love when you're here.
Oh, my goodness.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Greetings to our fearless leader, Joe Rossi. Woo! Shout out to her, to Aaron, who's doing our tech, and every one of you beautiful people here today. Welcome, welcome. We have a spectacular guest with us. Did you see her dancing us into this space? I mean, I couldn't sit still because it was like, yeah, buddy. What? This is Moira Smiley. And while she may have come and visited us, but now she is, for the first time, a host, the presenter of her music. We are so fortunate to have her with us. She said, just introduce her as a singer, composer, collaborator, and she will tell you the rest. Now, take it over. Everybody join me in waving to Moira.
Hi, Kathy Bullock. You are such a hero to me. I just put my I put two and two together and realized, oh my goodness, this is Kathy Bullock. What? I'm in the presence of greatness. And Joe, thank you for making this happen. And Busy Graham, thank you for being my link to such really important, gorgeous people for so many years. I see you and I appreciate you. And hello, everybody else who is here and giving your ears and your smiles. And I'm going to teach us a song that I have been learning. And And I've got a brand new album coming out on Friday called In Our Voices. And I want to start out with just warming ourselves up for a second and then dive right into this song, which has been such a teacher to me since I heard it. It's called Everybody Ought to Treat a Stranger Right. And it's by a man who called himself, or was called, Blind Willie Johnson. And he recorded this song in 1930 in Atlanta, Georgia. And I heard the version, I did not hear his version first. I heard a woman, a singer named Sidney Hempel Carter, sing it for the folklorist Alan Lomax. And her version is actually really different. It was almost like she kind of half recalled hearing his recording, that 1930s recording, and was sort of making it her own. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with her as a singer. Check her out. I'll actually put her name in the chat here. Sydney. She was part of a whole dynasty of blues musicians there in the north hill country of Mississippi. Not Delta blues, but hill country blues. Sidney Hempel Carter. So the way she sang it for Alan Lomax in her kitchen just really moved me. She did this everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. And they're a long way from home. And they're a long way from home. And they're a long way from home. And that's the basic idea of what she's saying. And I just felt it to be so deeply true, so universally inviting. And I've done a lot of work with refugees in the last few years and have been a nomad myself in a place and a person that doesn't feel like I belong almost anywhere. And these words sank in really deep, and I feel like never go out of style. I kind of want them to be less of an urgent call than they are these days, but right now they feel urgent. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. So let's just sing this melody. I ended up, I'm finally finished with this arrangement because I didn't feel like I, as a white folk singer, was meant to arrange this by myself. And so I called upon my friend Alexander Lloyd Blake, who is a song leader and arranger and the head of a group called Tonality. Check them out. They're so good. Tonality from Los Angeles. And he and I arranged this song together, and that's what I'm going to teach you today. So here's the melody. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Try that. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Again. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Now we have it. The second line. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Try that. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. One more time. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Good. And the third line, everybody ought to treat a stranger. Oh, everybody ought to treat a stranger right. That goes high. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Okay, those three. And then we have this, a long way from home. Just one note. A long way from home. A long way from home. So let's do those long ways from home. A long way from home. A long way from home. A long way from home. So we have two of the same, a long way from home, a long way from home. And then I do a longer phrase at the end. A long way from home. Try that longer phrase. A long way from home. Yeah, so that I kind of call that the chorus, the long way home chorus. And so let's sing it one more time and then I'm going to show you something. So, a long way from home, a long way from home. Here's the longer one. A long way from home. Yeah. Okay, so that's the whole song, really. There's a verse, but this is the chorus part, and I think this is the part I'm going to teach us today. Can we sing that whole thing? Okay, everybody, how to treat a stranger right 3 times. The first, second, and third, like it kind of starts low and goes higher and goes a little higher the third time. And then we have the chorus, a long way from home, a long way from home, a long way from home. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home, a long way from home, a long way from home. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home, a long way from home, a long way from home. All right, so I just wanted to give that to you and offer this body percussion. I'm going to show you the chorus body percussion. So I'm just going right stomp, and then I tap the side of my legs. So that's 1, 2, and then I clap in front. Yeah. So I go 1, 2, 3. And then I'll step on my left leg. So if you're sitting down, you can just, lift these legs. You don't have to step. So we go right, slap, clap, and then left, clap, arms. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So we go, let's do those 6 beats. We go right stomp, legs, clap, and then left, clap, arms. And then we end that pattern by going right leg, clap. Let me make sure that I did that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, the ending actually is not a clap. It goes back down on the legs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's do that. So that goes with the long way from home. So a long way from home, a long way from home, a long way from home. Yeah. So you'll notice that the first time you go through the pattern, you start on the right side. The next long way from home starts on the left. And the last long way from home starts on the right. Let's do that one more time. I hope this is fun for you guys because I like it. Okay, let's do the long way with the fancy percussion. Ready? And a long way from home, a long way from home, a long way from home. And then we snap. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you guys have the gist of this. I'm gonna play the recording and of the demo. This is so fresh. This is such fresh material. I just recorded the demo yesterday, and Alexander Blake and I will record the official one in this coming week. And I'm gonna sing the verse for you after we sing the chorus a couple times, just so you get the sense of the whole thing. So let's play this demo recording and enjoy. Everybody Ought to Treat a Stranger Right by Blind Willie Johnson. Recorded it with a woman who I believe was his partner, Willie B. Harris was was the name, and then Sidney Hempel Carter sang it for Alan Lomax in 1959 from her home in Tate County, Mississippi. Okay, so here we go. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home. A long way from home. A long way from home. Again, everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home. A long way from home. A long way from home. Here's a verse. Be mindful how you're speaking. You can dance along if you want. How you go along. You must always treat a stranger right. Don't insult them in your home. Don't insult them in your home. Here comes a chorus. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home. A long way from home. A long way from home. Another chorus. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home. A long way from home. A long way from. Here's another verse. Well, Christ came down a stranger, and he didn't have a home. But he was cradled in a manger, the oxen kept him warm. Yeah, the oxen kept him warm. Chorus. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home. A long way from home. A long way from home. Let's do one more. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home. Long way from home. Okay.
Woo! Moira, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much. And I know, so we are so lucky to have Moira here today, who is busy as a beaver. And in fact, we have like 6 minutes or 5 minutes of Moira left. So we are going to grab it for some discussion. Kathy B, I think we were going to chat with Moira for a couple minutes about some, you go, you're up.
Oh, Moira, that's so powerful. Long way from home. Oh my God. Do you want to talk a little bit about the journey for your new CD that's coming out, or I believe Friday? I mean, when did you say?
You're right. Yeah, Friday. Weird. Yeah, thank you. The new CD is. Oh, I wish I had a copy of it. It's right in the other room, but I'll grab it. Hold a second.
Long way from home. I'm trying to get that clap part and stuff now. That is not easy. I'm saying like, wait a minute, stamping and the clapping and woo, 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 woo. You know, I do it with juba. It's very similar, or the ham bone. All of that coming out of that tradition is wonderful. Was that your
Yeah.
idea to put it together?
So, okay, so body percussion started coming into my life when I was a teenager because of being in clogging and in contra dance and that kind of stuff. And the person who brought the body percussion to me was a clogger named Evie Layden, and who actually grew up in Baltimore.
Some people are nodding. I think they know the name.
She's actually sung with us in here. Evie's sung with us, and so has her sister Abby.
Yeah, okay, yeah, everybody's like, yeah. So when Evie and I started a music camp with the wonderful Malcolm Dalglish, I mean, this is all like Busy Graham,
Oh,
fertile fields of Busy Graham here. Then we began using some of these. She was starting to put together with her husband, Keith Terry, kind of this whole, waking up to the percussive movement that was available from the American traditions, especially Black American traditions, but also filtering through the folk dance of the sort of percussive folk dance of Ireland um, and in Europe too. And so there was this sort of awareness of this, the riches of not just using your feet, but also your hands. And for sure, yeah, ham bone was in there. But it was sort of revisiting this where I think for me in the 20th century, it felt like ham bone got made a bit more silly. Like it kind of, was on,
yeah,
yeah,
simplified and more surfacey like, whereas it's quite complex, all of these body percussions. Thank you for bringing
yeah.
me back. Oh, I hope we don't run out of time. Tell us about your CD.
Oh yeah, okay. So so
Sidetrack,
this is
sorry.
called In Our Voices. These wolves are the five singers. I sang with wolves, everybody. But no, these are the five singers actually. My friends, you might know some of them: Don Pemberton, Jake Asaro, Gregory Fletcher, and Carla Mundi. We made a CD in Mobile, Alabama, at the end of a tour right as the pandemic hit, and it's um it's a bunch of harmony rich and percussion, like body percussion rich songs. A lot of them about social justice and just my working my way through some ideas and some calls to action. And so a lot of the songs are those, but there are some really personal songs too about family. And so that's In Our Voices, coming out on Friday if you want to find it somewhere.
Fabulous. We're looking forward to it.
Thanks for asking about it.
Yes.
There's some official music videos too that actually the wolves are part of this beautiful animation video that I would love for everybody to check out. It's just a joy and a pleasure to watch this. My friend Christine made a full animation of this song, and it's very emotional to watch these drawings that she made express this sense of responsibility and listening that I'm trying to talk about in the song, which is that I feel the violence of our information silos and of white supremacy. It's right here, it's right inside all of us. And that song tries to, and her animation tries to sort of work with it and and sing about it. It's called Sing About It. So,
Wow. I feel so fortunate to be. I feel like, that there's momentous uh, birthing of new and powerful things in response to what's happening, like what you're talking about, and to be witnessing all of this happening here.
yeah.
The daily antidote that Joe has set this, and others, have set this space, and then for you to share this, I just think it's so powerful. It's like, wow, I was there when.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and a huge part of it. You're part of my the icons that I have in my heart and my head.
I'm an
Yeah.
icon. Girl, let me write that down.
Yeah, you got it right. Write that down. But yeah, so thanks for making this happen and for having me and for the open hearts that come to this daily
Wow.
antidote. Yeah.
Thank you, Moira, for being here. And it was so much fun to chat with you. And I can see that we all have lots more. We hope we'll do it another time with you. And I know you've got to run. So let's all wave Moira a big thank you out of the room. And
Bye. Thank you, everybody.
thank you. Thank you and lots of love.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. It's great to meet you. Thanks, Aaron.
We're going to treat the stranger right, y'all. Remember that?
Yes.
Everybody.
All right. So thank you so much, Kathy. That was incredible to be able to share that space with her. And I loved the notion that they just recorded the CD in Alabama the day after we just had Fire Rose Touré in here. Just this notion that there is really like a lot of karmic spiritual connections.
Yes.
You know, there's sense of place right now in terms of what we're thinking about our nation, what we're thinking about our own hometowns, what we're thinking about. And so I love the ways that all these things are tying together in here and giving us such an incredible space for talking and singing about. So, you know, Moira's new album is so focused on the notion of hearing and listening and voicing, right? Like, I just think that's incredible. And she was a perfect fit for Singing for Racial Justice Weeks, and definitely hope to have her back again in the future for a longer chat time and singing time. I'm going to actually ask Kathy B whether or not she wants to maybe bring something musical for us to sing as a little goodbye on this lovely Saturday, since Moira had to leave before we could get to the goodbye round. Do you have one verse? Do you want to do Amazing Grace?
I'm still hearing her song. I'm still hearing her song. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home, right? A long way from home. Long way from home. I hope I did it right, but everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Woo! Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. I didn't hear our chords. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. A long way from home. I don't know. A long way from home. Long way from home. I think that's how she ended it. But anyway, we get the message.
Woo!
Treating a stranger right.
And Kathy B, I have to say, like, we just got to be a part of your musical process after having just been a part of her musical process. So how do you like being inside of Moira Smiley's song from between when she's written it, when she's singing it, when she's made the recording that is the background, right? Or the sort of group song that we just sang along with, to transferring over to actually having it recorded for the album. And that's like an incredible journey, right? Like, so she just made that piece.
That's the word, Joe. It's incredible.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh.
And we were really just in the living room of two people at once while we watched their musical process, right? First inside of her living room and then inside of Kathy's. So feeling super blessed today. Feeling super blessed, feeling super glad to see all of you here. And
I have to say extra thank you right now to Moira, because she told the story of the song from the first person who wrote it to the next one who recorded it, and she honored each person along that journey as she did hers. I so appreciate that. It's lifting them all up in the story.
Yep, totally beautiful. Thank you, Kathy, for giving voice to that. So I am noticing that we've just received another person in the room. So I am going to say goodbye to the folks on Facebook and just put a reminder out there to Facebook that if you ever want to join us here in the room, we have discussions afterwards, sometimes that go on for a little while longer. You can get here by going to revelsdc.org and then clicking on the Daily Antidote and join in the virtual room. Thanks again for joining us today. Please join us for the rest of the next week as we continue singing for racial justice, and then for any day ever of any year that you want to jump in, because here we are doing this. So we're glad you joined us today. Thank you so much.